Josh Green here for SecondsOut. Delighted to be joined by Billam-Smith here at the open workout for Azim's matchup with Franck Pettitjean. How are you doing, Chris?
Yeah, all good, thanks, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad at all, not too bad at all. Since we spoke, there's been some movement in the Cruiserweight division. Jai Opetaia got a big win over Jordan Thompson. You were there ringside on commentary. What were your assessments of Jai's performance?
Yeah, you know, it was punch perfect in terms of, you know, I don't think he got hit. I think he got hit with maybe one shot, one right hand in the second round maybe. But yeah, it was a punch perfect performance from him and got the job done.
How much did you actually watch of Jai Opetaia before that fight? Because I think UK fans, they've seen the Bradis performance, but he's not been at that world level for a particularly long time.
Yeah, he hasn't really had the names, you know, before the Bradis fight. He didn't really have the names to put the respect on his name that he deserved. I picked him to beat Bradis, to be honest. I thought his style, you know, he moves his feet really well, puts his shots together, but carries enough power. So yeah, he's a phenomenal fighter. He's a really good fighter, and you know, he's so far #1 in the world for a reason, because he's got the win over Bradis, and then obviously a good performance last time out. So until I fight again, he can have that spot.
I've got to talk about Azim. He's been really on an upward trajectory since joining the McGuigan gym. Some incredible stuff in the ring. He seems to be taking those steps now. Where, in your opinion, does he sit in terms of some of the best prospects, not just in the country, but in the world?
Yeah, you know, he's a prospect for sure. One of the very best. His performances have been really good. You know, I think the Santos Reyes fight was a really good 10-round display of, but a learning fight. It was and then I think he showed the improvements from that fight to the last fight. Because I'd say Fanyan's a lot better fighter, and he grew through that fight and learned a lot through that fight of, you know, finding, listening to Shane and making the adjustments he had to make. And it's hard to adjust and learn during a fight at that stage of your career. When you're early on in your career, it can be really difficult to learn during a fight and adapt during a fight. And that's a sign of a good fighter who adapts during the fight, because sometimes fighters will just adapt fight to fight, but you've got to learn what you're doing and find what works and what doesn't work during a fight, and that's what champions do. And he's learning all the time, and I think you know, he's fighting for a European title so early on in his career, and it's great to see.
Is it important not to get ahead of ourselves? You say he's fighting for a European title, he's still so young, and you look at the options for him in the next year, even the next couple of years, there's so many options there, but is it important not to get ahead of ourselves?
I think the most important thing is for him not to get ahead of himself, and I think that's all that matters. Everyone else could get ahead of themselves as long as he keeps grounded and understands there's more learning to do, which is the most important thing, is always learning to do. You know, I've become world champion, but no way near the finished article. I'm back in the gym from, you know, 5 weeks after the last fight, trying to learn and progress from that. So that's the mindset you've got to have. You've got to have that growth mindset of there's always improvements to be made. So as long as he keeps that, then, you know, everyone else can get carried away, but know that it's a journey. It's not just bang, you turn pro, you win a belt, or you knock one person out and you're the finished article. That's not how it works.
Well, you were ringside for Opetaia Thompson. Also on the same night, Ellie Scottney was defending her world championship. What's her mood been like in the gym following that defence? Because it was a pretty simple and a pretty dominant performance, you would say. Yeah,
you know, I spoke to Ellie a few times since. She's buzzing. Watched it back. I think on the night she was disappointed because the girl was awkward, just walking forward. But it was difficult for her. But I said, go watch it back and you'll be pleased with your performance. She watched it back and she was much more pleased, because when you're in there and you're trying to do stuff that's not working because of the awkwardness of the other person, then it's it can be frustrating. But then when you watch it back and you see how much good work, you know, she's done, then she's much happier. So yeah, she's buzzing. She's back in the gym this week, so I'm be looking to go again soon.
Obviously she was expected to get that victory, but when someone in the gym has a big result, does it lift the spirits in the gym? Does it give you that extra 5%?
Yeah, for sure, but I think the spirits in the gym are based obviously off winning, because that's what it's about, but the performances as well. I think it's the performances that matter the most, and we're a performance-based gym. You know, if you're fighting someone you're meant to win, you're meant to beat, and you don't perform that well but you get the win, like, it leaves a flat feeling in Shane's eyes. You know what I mean? He's all about performance, because as long as you worry about the performance, you focus on that, then the results will come. Sometimes in some fights it's just about the result, you know, in massive fights, and the performance doesn't matter too much, but the performance has got to matter to a certain extent the whole time, otherwise those results just won't come. We've
talked about Jai Opetaia's performance. He said he's more than happy to take on yourself and unify. I mean, is that a fight you would want? Yeah, absolutely. You know, he's obviously the IBF champion, and he's got the Ring Magazine belt. So, and I think stylistically it's a fantastic fight. There's two lads in there who can punch, two lads who've got good chins and are tough blokes, and I think it makes for a brilliant fight. And yeah, one I'd be really excited about. And you know, I'm at the stage now where I want to unify. So, you know, I think obviously the next fight's unlikely to be a unification, but after that, that's what we'll be looking at, is looking to unify, and whoever that may be, whether it's Billam-Smith or the WBC champion, whoever that is at the time, or Jai Opetaia, then you know, they're the fights we want. One thing Jai did say, that he wants the next fight to be back in Australia. He wants that homecoming fight with the world title. Would you be happy to go over to Australia and take him on? Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think in the meantime, I'm not going to fight him this year, and I'm fighting this year, so I'm focused on that. I mean, it's a tough one because we're both world champions, but we've both got massive followings in our country, and I think the negotiations would be fun trying to figure that out. I think in the meantime, he could fight back home anyway, because I'm going to be fighting by the end of this year, and it's not going to be him. So yeah, you know, we'll see when that fight happens. We'll see who's the bigger draw, and who's putting the best performances, and who promotes the show. Obviously, different promoters and stuff. So there'll be a lot of lines to cross and a lot of stuff to sort out. But I'm sure we can make it happen. You say you're preparing for a fight this year. Are you currently in the gym? Are you currently working towards a particular opponent? Or? No, we're not. Well, no, we're still unsure at the moment. Hopefully, we'll have something sorted in the next couple of weeks. I think it's still between MASTERNAK and Lawrence. So, you know, we're back sparring, we're back training. I've been back in the gym for full time for the last 4 or 5 weeks. So, yeah, and I'm back sparring and stuff. So, yeah, it's for me, it's just about focusing on myself and making sure I'm ready to go, whoever it may be. But hopefully, we'll have an idea or have something, know who it's going to be by the end of this week or next week. Cheers, Chris. Appreciate your time as always. Nice one. Cheers, mate. Thank you.